Hello folks, this is Shreve's Wildlife Taxidermy. In this episode, and the very first episode of my channel, I am going to show you where to slice and dice a deer to cut the cape right for the taxidermist. If you look behind me here, I have a picture. You want to cut behind the front legs, right 2 or 3 inches, all the way around the chest, go down to above the kneecap, cut all the way around, and from there behind the leg, cut all the way up and then back to your incision that is around the chest. That is the bare minimum that you want to take to the taxidermist. That is the bare minimum you want to take to the taxidermist. Preferably further back the better. Bring the whole cape in as far as I'm concerned. And right here I have a deer that I shot about 5 years ago. I finally got around the mountain. Too busy doing everybody else's stuff. Finally got mine done. I done a pretty good job on it. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best. But each deer I do, I push myself further and further to do better and set goals for myself to achieve. Behind me on the wall is antlers I put on panels. I cut this out myself. Solid oak. I take pride in my work. I try to get all the detail around all the little lines and boundaries and whatever. Over beside of it is the first buck I ever shot about 35 years ago. I put it on a piece of wormy chestnut shaped like an arrowhead. Looks really good. I like that color, that wormy chestnut. Don't ask me where I got that. The black market. I'll just put it to you that way, and it probably wasn't legal. Just joking. But don't ask me where I got it. I got a secret supplier. Right here, I have a European mount. I do European mounts for about $90. Now, I will be honest with you. If you know somebody that has beetles and knows what they're doing, that's the best way to go. Unfortunately, I do not have beetles right now. Down the road, I am going to try to get beetles and get set up for that. But until then, I do the boil, simmer, simmer method. I don't like boiling them. That puts grease in the skull and it just makes a mess. I try to simmer them. It don't always work out that way. Some of them come out nice and white and some of them not so great. So again, if you know somebody with beetles, have at it. They'll probably do a better job. I'm just trying to be honest. I want everybody to have their memories preserved the way they want them preserved. Moving on to my next subject is quality of mounts. There's a lot of taxidermists out there. They claim their work's good and all that. And I'm not trying to knock anybody, but I try to pay attention to what a deer is supposed to look like and what people are mounting. Some of it's crap. Plain and simple, it is crap. They're slapping something together and sending it out, trying to make a quick buck. I'm not that type of taxidermist. I do the best I can to get it anatomically correct. Am I perfect? No. Am I the best? No. But I keep pushing myself in that direction. And one of the many things that I have noticed among taxidermists is the pupils on the whitetail deer. They do not get them level like they are supposed to. A deer's pupil will stay level. Even when that head lowers, that pupil is level. Now when that deer raises its head, that's a different story. Well, my deer, I make sure I take the time to level everything up. I put a level on the back of the form and do everything I can to get that eye as level as possible. Another thing is the third eyelid. People typically do not put the third eyelid in their work. I do. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I will show you. Let me get my book out. I highly recommend this reference photo book to anybody that is a taxidermist. Like, that's the front of it. That might help you a little bit better. My bad. Here is a reference photo. If you notice, right here is a third eyelid. I think that's called the conicular or something. Oftentimes taxidermists leave that out. They will fill that in with epoxy or wax, clay, whatever. It doesn't look right. It's not what a deer's eye is supposed to look like. And then you got an indentation right here. A little bit of moisture in there. And then if you look at the eyebrows, or eyelashes I mean, they are pointed down at an angle. They're not supposed to be pointed up. They're sticking straight out really. They're supposed to be pointed down at an angle. Have I ever screwed them up and had them in the wrong direction? Yes, I have. It happens. I had to learn somehow or another. I wasn't born with this knowledge, so I had to learn. But I am getting better. My goal is to get into competition one day. Competition taxidermy. Another thing that I've noticed a lot of times on the nose pad, taxidermists will just cover the whole thing with black paint, whatever. All the little rosettes and hairs, they cover all that up, and that's not how it's supposed to be. And down here in the lower part, in between the nodules, should be a fleshy collar. In between, just like a little road map or something, just lines. About the lower third of the nose. I'll show you a picture of what I'm talking about. Just bear with me. Really nice pictures in here, by the way. Try to get a good one here. Right here. If you look right here, you got the little rosettes, little hair sticking out, and there's the little fleshy lines I was talking about in between the nodules. This one here, they're a little bit higher up. Majority of the time on a deer, they're about the lower third, but every deer is different. And also, I guess, depends on the seasons, time of year, and all that. Another thing to look for is ear placement. That ear, oftentimes the taxidermists get them too low. Have I ever got them too low? Yes. I'll admit to it. But you live and learn. But how you can tell is you take a yardstick, and by the way, they're not making these any longer. You take this yardstick out the center of the nose, hold it right underneath the eye where that bottom of that muscle is, and then the bottom muscle of the ear should be about on that line, maybe a little bit lower. It depends. Every deer is different, but you don't want to go down too far. But the majority of the time, that's about where the lower ear butts should be placed. Now, I will attempt. Where's my flashlight? I can't keep up anything like a kid or something. Just stuff everywhere. Just like a kid with their toys thrown everywhere. I got stuff everywhere. I am going to attempt to get a close-up of this deer. I probably fail miserably. Now, you look at this eye, you can clearly see the pupil is level. You can see the third eyelid in there. And you can see a little indentation, a little bit of moisture in there, just like on a real deer's eye. Go around here to the front, to the nose. You see the little rosettes, the hair sticking out, nice and pretty, nodules. A little bit of fleshy collar there underneath between the nodules and them little lines. Go around to the other side. You see that third eyelid. Another issue I've noticed on other people's work is the ears. You look at a whitetail's ears, there's no muscle up through here until you get down to the base. This is all cartilage. A deer cannot move their ear up and down, whatever, like some animals can. But I've seen some taxidermists mount their deer with the ears bent down like this. Now, unless the wind's blowing really hard or it's up against a limb, it should not look like that. It should be kind of curved at the end. The only thing I can figure is they're using Bondo. And when they're waiting for that Bondo to dry, they're holding the ear in their hand and it's bending it down like that. It's okay to use Bondo. I've used Bondo before and I probably will again one day. But you got to get the form right. You don't want your whitetail looking like, I guess, a donkey. The ear drooped down like that. That's not how it's supposed to be done. That's about all I have for this episode. I will tell you this, I am not located in Elkins. I am located about 8 miles south of Petersburg, West Virginia. And apparently there's a middle mountain in Elkins, and on my logo it says Middle Mountain, West Virginia, so it gets a lot of people confused. But I am located south of Petersburg, up 220, about 8 miles. The easiest way to get a hold of me and schedule an appointment is on Facebook. I have a phone number. Just go to Facebook, you can get my phone number. I hope everybody has a safe and happy buck season this year. Starting tomorrow is the first week of buck season in West Virginia. Everybody be safe, have fun, spend time with your family and friends. That's the most important. And until next time, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and be careful out there, will you?